Greetings, Inquisitors. Welcome to the Holocron. This is the week 96 update for the Darth Loquitur account. I update this account's progress every week, go through all the character upgrades, what I'm thinking about, plans for the future, and go through that so you can all follow along. If you like this kind of content, please remember to use that like saber and crush that like button on your way through. That helps me, helps the channel, and I sure would appreciate it. All right, let's get into it. Let's see what we got done in the account this week. Week 96. Our plan was to relic Rex, and you can see we got that ready to go, so let's upgrade Rex. Let's get his relic levels up. We're going to go ahead and put him at relic 5. I'm putting all the clones at relic 5 for now. I really need to get 5s to higher relic, probably relic 7. Some of the other clones I may need to get to higher relics. We had enough to get him to relic 5, but we also have a different project, so we got to go over here, create some circuit boards and wiring, and we have committed to putting relic 5 onto Darth Maul. We did get the datacron for Sith Eternal Emperor that gets him 80% of the way to his ultimate starting out. It does require a team of 5 Sith to take full advantage, and we're one relic 5 Sith short, so we're going to put Darth Maul at relic 5. That gets us a full team at 5 or higher. We can make full use of that datacron that we rolled. We're going to go in and upgrade Echo to gear 12. He will be the next character to relic. This is nice. We've already got one of these right side pieces to lock down. All 3 of the left side pieces are available. So I'm looking through here. We have to finish out 90 pieces there, and then we do have these hollow lenses here for another full 50 pieces. So that's probably more than I'll be able to farm in 1 week, so we're going to go ahead and set a 2-week timeline to get Echo. We've got a stun gun here that we need on Arc Trooper. He'll be the last one to get relicked. We're going to be able to upgrade him to gear 10 and then straight into gear 11. Got the promotion to the 6-star there. We've been splitting our farming between finishing out Arc Trooper's shards and getting the right amount of signal data for relicking our characters. So we don't have him to 7 stars yet, but we'll get there in time. CLS gets another gear tier. I feel like this is really important to keep CLS moving up. In addition to the journey, if we can afford it at all, keep working on CLS. All right, here's the characters for our profundity journey. Radis, of course, is a pretty key component to that. We're going to lock down some gear pieces on him, find out what it is that he needs. Here we put a stun gun on him, and then we find out that he needs more Carbantes to get this level. I feel like it's that way for most everybody. Most of your characters will be waiting on a Carbante or a stun gun. It's fine, that's the way it is, and as we get Carbantes, we feed these characters and keep them rolling up. Mon Mothma, same situation. We need Carbantes here. Mon Mothma's an obvious choice to be the first relic for the profundity journey. But if she doesn't make it in time, then we've got Cassian 1 piece away from making it to gear 12. So one of those 2 will get the first relic for the profundity journey officially. That's all right. We can work on Dash Rendar a little bit, get him another gear upgrade. We've got some money in the bank still, so we're going to go ahead and take some levels up here. That'll allow us to go ahead and get another upgrade onto Dash Rendar. And then we can take a look at Biston. See what we got down here. We've still got a little bit of money left over. Biston's only level 68, so we can go ahead and take his levels up a little bit. Just stage him to 80, be ready for future weeks. And not quite ready to put mods on him and make him part of a team yet. Still kind of working on the initial phases of building him. But that's okay. Needing a Carbante and a hollow projector. Everybody needs a Carbante and a hollow projector. There's Hux getting his 6-star. We're farming him up kind of in the background. We also got 50 RT here. I'm going to take a look at building her. I assume it's a her. We do have R2-D2, we have BB-8. We're going to have to build L3 to go with Dash Rendar. So we'll have most of a team that can go with 50 RT. So we may try to mess around with that in Conquest a little bit. We got our Hans Millennium Falcon up to 7 stars, so that's nice. And then we have this Executor. Finally have enough shipbuilding materials to get that to level 85 and finish that out. Then I come in here and I start applying my upgrades, and I don't know why, but I'm being real conservative with my upgrades at first. We've got 1900 prestige in the bank. It's plenty, and I know we're going to level these skills, so I don't know why I just didn't go in there and just click them all. Now the basic, I think we'll take the basic to level 4 probably and leave it there. The first few upgrades aren't that bad. They get you some extra damage, and then once it gets to 40, the amount of times you use the basic is so infrequent. I don't even think it's worth wasting our prestige on, so we're going to leave it there. We also got Cassian's U-Wing that we're using actively in fleets as a reinforcement. And we can go ahead and put some Ship Omega upgrades on it potentially for this week. Take a look at these different upgrades that we've got. Not really anything that's that significant that makes me want to spend on it. We do have Biston's U-Wing as well. We can put some levels on this. And again, you know, we used up most of our shipbuilding materials on that Executor, but this still allows us to stage it up. We'll go ahead and put some skill levels on it and just get ready for the future. We do have the Outrider gets another star. Get that to 5 stars. 2 left to go. We've got the TIE Echelon. We've been farming that most days. We don't have that much pressure on our fleet currency or our fleet energy, so we are able to work on that a little bit. So that wraps up the character and ship upgrades for the week. And that puts us at week 96 with 4.75 million galactic power. We added 60,000. 45 relics, 61 zetas, JMKs getting us in the top 10, and the Executor fleet gets us back into the top 5. We do have to throw quite a few battles because we're only 5-star Executor and the opponents are all 7-star Executors. So we got our work cut out for us in Fleet Arena, but we are pushing our way up into those top slots again. And the project is going to be then to Relic Echo for week 98. Next week's energy plan, IG-2000 twice a day, Radis twice a day, and then Scion and Hux where it makes sense. In Fleet, we are going to add Biston as a farm. I was looking for him out of the shop. I can also get him out of the guild event store, so I figured he would come out of the shops pretty easily, but the shards really aren't showing up there very often, so we are going to start farming him to make sure that he keeps up with the pace that we need to get this profundity. We're farming the Outrider twice a day and then the Echelon when it makes sense. In the Cantina, we're still splitting between finishing out that ARC Trooper and getting signal data. Mods, we're going to work on some tenacity mods this week. The refresh strategy is the same. 3 of each energy type and then some refreshes on Cantina, when the guild objective for the day is either Cantina, Energy, or All Energy. Then in the Squad Arena store, we're just buying Prestige only. Again, if we're going to go from Executor and then back-to-back into the Profundity, we need a lot of Prestige. So we are stacking Prestige only out of the Squad Arena store. Biston's U-Wing out of the Fleet store. We're getting first order ships that we can find in there, and Zetas if it makes sense. Everything else is going to feed the Shard Shop. Just got 2 clones to go. We need to finish up the relic on that Echo. And then ARC Trooper, we got a few gear tiers to go and finish out his shards, and then we'll be on cam clones. I do need those relic upgrades still, so there may be kind of a lull in the profundity excitement, because I'm going to need some higher relics on the clones and also need some pretty high relics on the profundity. So we'll see how that works out. And it may actually be good because I'm running short on carbonite circuit boards, like the lowest level material. And up until now in the Loquitur account, I've always been able to keep up on carbonite, so this is the first time that I'm really depleted on carbonite materials, and bronzium's always a problem. It was that way on my main account too, so I don't feel bad about the bronzium. But I may actually have to farm stuff for carbonite, and I've never had to do that yet on the account. If that happens, I'll let y'all know. And then once I have to farm Dash and Kyle, of course, then I'll start getting behind on signal data, so that might also be a time to catch up on some of those materials. So let's go through the teams. that we're going to build. This Rebel journey could be the next year of account building for Loquitur, and I want to have a look into everything that I'm building, kind of as a broad base, figure out where this is going and where I'm going to put the characters. So in the first team, we're looking at a Radis team, and 4 of the 5 that we're going to put in here are the Profundity. And then the Scarif Rebel Pathfinder shares a ship with Biston, so I feel like maybe it makes sense to put him in the team. And unfortunately, I feel like that means we will have to relic him someday. With the prevalence of datacrons, we'll probably at some point get a decent datacron or something that makes sense to put on this team. And if they haven't made any changes to it, then I'll probably have to relic him so I can take advantage of a datacron on this team. I think this team is going to be maybe a B tier team, not one of the top tier teams, but I think it does have a lot of durability in GAC on defense. It's got Jyn Erso can't die. She has a resurrect. She can bring other rebels back. Scarif Pathfinder can resurrect himself if he's got a buff on when he dies. So I don't feel like this team is too hard to deal with. You can dispel the buff on the taunt from Scarif Rebel Pathfinder pretty easily. So yeah, all in all, I think it has the potential to be a pretty good team. Of course, if Cassian's Omicron happens to also be a GAC Omicron, then we could see even more potential out of this team. But for right now, I think I consider it kind of a B tier team. The Phoenix, that's kind of a D tier team, right? And we might swap out Ezra and leave him somewhere for a Jedi team. It seems like we've got a lot of stuff pulling on Jedi, and that just means we'll put Sabine in here, but we'll see how that goes. Again, with a Relic Hera, it does become viable then to put it somewhere on defense again as a trash team somewhere. Of course, the CLS team is an A-grade team, and I got R2-D2 in here right now, but eventually that'll be C-3PO, of course. And we're going to kind of push to Relic Commander Luke, maybe even during the Profundity journey. With this team, 3PO and Chewie share stats. They give 20% of the leader's stats to everybody. And if I can get that Commander Luke up to Relic 7 or maybe even Relic 8, sharing all that offense out across the rest of the team really gives them insane offense, even at relatively low gear. So make that a single relic team with a high relic CLS. That's something that we're going to do. And if we don't do it while we're working on Profundity, then it'll be probably the first thing we do afterwards. And we do still have to get that C-3PO unlocked. I've got Ewoks ready to go. I just need to gear them up a little bit more and take the time to mod them, and I can probably make a grab for C-3PO pretty soon. We are going to try to do that with a non-Wicket Ewok team, so we'll see how that all works out. There is going to be a leftover team. A lot of people put this leftover team under Rebel Officer Leia lead. I may do that. I like the Wedge lead. The Wedge lead's just a lot of damage. And, Lando can put out pretty decent damage. Biggs can put out pretty decent damage. And Captain Han Solo can bring people back to life. So this team is basically, like I said, it's a D tier team. But, you can put it out there somewhere, and if the opponent underestimates that, maybe it has enough damage to kill a character or cost them a bunch of banners. So we'll see how that comes together over time. This Dash Rendar team, I really feel like that's a top tier team. The way I'm looking at building it, I've got this Bo-Katan in here, and we don't really have a home for Bo. But if you look at Crippling Strike, she does tend to prioritize the Crippling Strike, and that dispels buffs from all the enemies. Dash Rendar's big damage skill that damages everyone has a bunch of unresistible effects. It does tons of damage. So I feel like if we build this team with those two to just dish out a whole bunch of area affected damage, maybe get an early kill, and then we'll double up on tanks with L3 and Stormtrooper Han, and of course Vandor Chewbacca is the sort of the fly in the ointment on this team, so to speak. If you can't get to Vandor Chewbacca, he will resurrect anybody else that you kill. So if you kill L3, Han, or Dash Rendar, and I've seen people do that before, come in, target Dash Rendar, kill him, and he just comes back because of Vandor. So unless you got some tricks to keep him dead, this team can be really a problem, and it puts out sickening amounts of damage. So we'll take a look at that L3. We'll work a little bit on Stormtrooper Han. I don't know if Stormtrooper Han is the character that I put there in the end. On my main account, I was messing around with this team, and instead of Bo-Katan and Storm Han, I had Queel and IG-11, and that is another little team that makes a good tank pair, and together with L3 and Vandor, it made it pretty hard to get to. So there's some things we can do with this, but I really feel like this is a very high-quality defensive team for Grand Arena. But we do need to commit to finishing out the Vandor Chewbacca. He still needs his 7th star. We've got him at gear 11, so he's not that far off, and he has to be relicked. So regardless of what we do with this team, once Dash Rendar gets relicked and we start using it, then Vandor, we want to take him up to as high of relic as we can commit to him to really anchor this team and make it so that it's hard to get the first kill. And then Dash Rendar can go crazy dealing damage. Once we're into the Jedi Knight Luke journey, that could potentially give us another A tier team with Jedi Knight Revan and a Jedi Knight Luke in there. And then finally, of course, that team will turn into Jedi Master Luke when we get the GL, and that's the ultimate goal for S. So if you look at this in total, what the journey is going to bring us, it's going to get an S tier team eventually with JML, or at least an A team with Jedi Knight Luke. 2 A tier teams, or at least I consider them A tier teams with Dash and CLS. 2 B tier teams, Mon Mothma and Raddus. Maybe a B tier team is overestimating Mon Mothma. Maybe she's a C tier team. I don't know. It's an okay team. It's not too hard to beat. But Raddus and Mon Mothma will be pretty effective teams for me. I think mostly defensive teams. And then 2, D tier teams, garbage, Phoenix and Rebel leftovers. But that's a total, eventually, of 7 teams that I'm going to build, and 3 out of the 7 are premium teams. So it looks pretty decent for the journey. And then the Raddus and Mon Mothma, of course, are going to at least take away some part of my opponent's offense in a meaningful way in GAC. So what to work on first? I think the only thing that I really need to pick out of here first is to get that CLS up and running as soon as I can so I can take advantage of that team. And then I think I do need to pay attention to that Dash team and start building that up in the background. I did decide to wait on farming the Dash shards because he does go to double drops in November. So if we can hold out until November and be farming him on double drops, that makes a massive difference. Half as many Cantina refreshes, of course. So we might wait for that, but by waiting for that, then I can't lose sight of the fact that I also should finish out that Vandor, build L3, and get that team ready to go for Dash. Then I'm going to secure the 2 A teams as soon as it's reasonable, which does mean that at the start of the Jedi Master Luke journey, I still may need to relic that Scarifable Pathfinder. That's the big thing, in order to get that Bistan team fully functional. Or the Admiral Raddus team. It's got Bistan on it, but the Raddus team. Then we'll focus on Jedi Knight Luke, and then we'll finish it out on all the leftovers, and that'll be the journey. So long time left to go on it. 7 teams to build out of this journey in total. But it's going to be, I think, in some way, pretty rewarding because of the quality of the teams that we can pull out of these journeys. All right, that's going to wrap it up for the week 96 account update for the Darth Loquitur account. Thank you all for watching. I do appreciate each and every one of you. And hit that like button on the way out if you didn't hit it on the way in. Subscribe if you want to watch more like this in the future. And do join us over on the Discord. We've got a fantastic Discord community. The link is in the description of the holocron down below. Just click that link. It'll take you to just Discord. You can join up over there. And even if you're not a very talkative person, you can just come hang out and see what the other people are talking about. And there's a lot to learn. All right. Thank you all for watching. And I will see you in the next holocron.